can't set free. I trace the lines of your goodbye on walls that knew your name. I stayed awake with open eyes while you forgot the flame. I thought love meant forever, but forever was a lie. I waited too long for a heart that had moved on. I gave you every piece of me, but you were already gone. I stayed in the silence while you were chasing dawn. I waited too long, and now you're gone. I memorized your every word like they were sacred lines. I clung to shadows of your touch while you were leaving mine. You found your freedom quietly, I found pain in the space. I loved you louder every day while you erased our place. I begged for signs, you gave me none. I stayed, but your heart was gone. I waited too long for a love that slipped away. I gave you all my mornings while you let them fade to gray. I held on to forever while you were already gone. I waited too long, and now I carry on. If loving you is brave, then losing you is worse. So hold the pieces of us and the echo of your words. I don't hate you, I just stay for the love I couldn't take. I waited too long for a heart that didn't stay. I loved you past the breaking point, still you walked away. I gave you everything while you let it fall apart. I waited too long, and you broke my heart. Some loves leave quietly, but their echoes never fade. You left without a warning, a quiet shadow in the hall. I'm still tracing your footsteps, even though you don't call. The bed still feels your absence, the air still holds your name. I'm holding on to memories while you've moved on in flames. I thought we had forever, but forever slipped away. I'm still waiting for you in the places we used to go. I'm still loving you, even though you'll never know. I gave you everything, but you let it fall through. I'm still waiting for you, and I'm broken in two. conversations in the silence of my room. Every laugh, every touch, now haunted by the gloom. You found freedom in leaving, I found pain in the past. I stayed too long in a love that wasn't meant to last. I kept believing in us while you quietly left. I'm still waiting for you in the corners of my mind. I'm still loving you, even though love's unkind. I gave you all my mornings, you gave me nights alone. I'm still waiting for you in a heart turned to stone. If love was meant to linger, why did yours disappear? I'll hold the pieces you left behind through every lonely tear. I'm still waiting for you, though I know you won't return. I'm still loving you through the lessons I must learn. I gave you all my heart while you let it fade. I'm still waiting for you in the love we never made. Some hearts leave silently, and some hearts break slow. I'm still waiting for you, even though I watched you fade without a word. Your shadow left before your face. I held on to the things you said, but they were gone without a trace. The bed is cold where we once lay. The nights are longer than before. I reach for you in empty rooms, but you're not here anymore. Love doesn't always break in fire. Sometimes it dies quietly. You left me in the silence when I needed your voice. I stayed while you were leaving. I had no choice. I gave you every heartbeat while you let it go. You left me in the silence, and I still don't know. I kept replaying memories of a laughter that felt like light. I held your picture close at night, hoping it would make things right. But freedom was all you wanted, and I was still holding on. I tried to build a world for us, but you were already gone. I begged for signs, you gave me none. I love, but your love was done. You left me left me in the silence when I needed your voice. I stayed while you were leaving. I had no choice. I gave you every heartbeat while you let it go. You left me in the silence, and I'll never know. Some hearts break quietly and some break loud. You left me in the silence while I scream without sound. I felt your hand slip from mine, like it never belonged at all. We spoke in empty sentences while love began to fall. The bed is cold, but nights are long. Your absence fills the space. I reach for you in the shadows, but I can't find your face. You said you needed freedom. I thought you meant we'd fight, but freedom was just leaving, and leaving was your light. You left me in the dark while I was still holding on. I loved you through the silence, but you were already gone. I gave you every heartbeat. You gave me empty space. You left me in the dark, and nothing can replace. I kept replaying our memories, hoping one could bring you back. I held your laughter in my hands, but it slipped into the cracks. You moved quietly, I stayed loud. I loved beyond your walls. You left without a reason, and I watched love fall. I begged for signs, you gave me none. I loved, but your love was done. You left me in the dark while I was still holding on. I loved you through the silence, but you were already gone. I gave you all my mornings. You left me nights to cry. You left me in the dark, and I can't say goodbye. Some hearts leave quietly, some hearts break slow. You left me in the dark, but the scars will always show. watched you walk away, like our love was never true. I whispered all the things I felt, but you didn't feel them too. The nights are empty now, the silence cuts me deep. I reach for you in dreams, but it's a memory I keep. I thought our hearts were forever, but yours slipped away from me. You left my heart behind while I was still holding on. I loved you through the silence, but you were already gone. I gave you all my mornings, you left me nights alone. You left my heart behind, and I'm learning it alone. I kept every little word, like treasures I could hold. I stayed awake in hope while you grew cold. You found your freedom quietly, I stayed trapped in our past. I loved you louder every day, but it was never meant to last. I begged for signs, you gave me none. I stayed, but your love was gone. You left my heart behind while I was still holding on. I loved you through the darkness, but you had already moved on. I gave you all my pieces, you let them slip away. You left my heart behind, and it aches every day. If love is meant to linger, why did yours disappear? I'll carry every memory and every silent tear. I don't hate you, I just ache for the love I couldn't make. You left my heart behind while I was still holding tight. I loved you in the silence while you disappeared from sight. I gave you all my mornings, you left me nights alone. You left my heart behind, and I face it on my own. Some hearts leave quietly, and some hearts break slow. You left my heart behind, but the scars will always show. I walk the streets we used to know. Every corner holds your ghost. I reach for hands that aren't my own and find I miss you most. Your laughter lingers in the air, but it doesn't reach my heart. I'm holding on to memories while we've already grown apart. I thought love would stay forever, but forever slipped away. I'm still here without you, breathing through the pain. I loved you in the silence while you walked away. I gave you all my mornings, you left the nights behind. I'm still here without you, and losing you rewives my mind. prayers I'd keep. I held a shadow close at night while you were learning to leave. I tried to build a home with us, but the walls came down too fast. I loved too much for both of us, and still it didn't last. I begged for signs you'd stay. You gave me quiet instead. I'm still here without you, living with the ache. I loved you in the darkness while you chose to break. I gave you all my pieces, you let them fall apart. I'm still here without you, with your absence in my heart. If love isn't earnest anger, why did yours disappear? I'm left with every memory and every falling tear. I don't hate you, I just ache for the love I couldn't take. I'm still here without you, while you moved on with ease. I stayed while love was dying. I stayed while you were free. I gave you all my mornings, you left the nights behind. I'm still here without you, and forever holds you unknown. Some hearts leave quietly, some hearts never heal. I'm still here without you, and this is all I feel. I watched you leave without a sound, like I was never there. I held my heart in silent hands while you didn't even care. The nights are heavy, empty now. Your shadow haunts my mind. I kept my love beneath the surface, the tears I didn't show this time. I thought forever meant we'd stay, but forever slipped away. Tears I didn't show fell quietly in the dark. I loved you when you left, even when you broke my heart. I gave you every piece of me, you left me all alone. Tears I didn't show, now I face them on my own. I memorized your every word, I carried them like gold. I stayed through every silence while your love grew cold. You moved on so effortlessly, I stayed in every scar. I loved you louder every day, but it wasn't who you are. I begged for signs, you gave me none. I stayed, but your love was gone. Tears I didn't show fell quietly in the dark. I loved you when you left, even when you broke my heart. I gave you all my mornings, you left me nights to cry. Tears I didn't show, and I don't did yours disappear? I'll carry every memory and every silent tear. I don't hate you, I just stay for the love I couldn't make. Tears I didn't show fell quietly through the night. I stayed when love was dying. You left without a fight. I gave you every heartbeat, you let it slip away. Tears I didn't show, and I'm broken every day. Some love leaves quietly, some hearts break slow. Tears I didn't show are the ones you'll never know. You said it wasn't sudden, but I felt it in the air. The way your hands fell from mine like they didn't belong there. We talked in careful sentences, like truth might break the glass. I watched the love drain from your eyes and tried not to ask. You said I need to find myself. I heard I don't choose you. It was the night you stopped choosing me, the night your heart turned cold. I was still holding on to us, you were letting go. I begged for something honest, you gave me something kind. It was the night you stopped choosing me and left me behind. You looked at me with pity, not with the fire we had. Like loving me had slowly turned into something bad. I kept replaying moments, trying to find the flaw. But sometimes love just disappears without a reason at all. You said it's not you, it's timing, but timing doesn't lie. It was the night you stopped choosing me, the night we fell apart. I stayed loyal to a memory you outgrew in your heart. I asked you if we could try again, you answered with a sigh. It was the night you stopped choosing me, and I learned how to cry. If love was ever real to you, why did it fade so fast? I would have stayed through every storm you couldn't outlast. I don't regret the love I gave, I regret believing you'd stay. It was the night you stopped choosing me, but I chose you still. I loved you past the breaking point, and I always will. You found peace in walking away, I found strength in the pain. It was the night you stopped choosing me, and I'll never be You started speaking softer, like truth was hard to say. Your eyes would look right through me, like you were drifting away. We slept on opposite edges of the bed we used to share. I reached for you in the darkness, but you were never there. You said nothing's wrong, just tired. But tired doesn't change your heart. If you ever loved me, tell me when it died. Was it slow and quiet, or did it lose the fight? I was holding on to forever, you were letting go of us. If you ever loved me, why wasn't it enough? I blame myself for distance, for cracks I couldn't see. I tried to be the reason you still choose me. You stopped saying we, like it way too much to speak. I kept saying always, while you were counting weeks. You let me believe we were fine, while you were already leaving. If you ever loved me, tell me where it went. Did it fade between the silence, or break without intent? I gave you every part of me, you gave me half a heart. If you ever loved me, when did we fall apart? If love was real for you, why did it feel so easy to leave? I stayed through every storm. You walked away with peace. I don't hate you, I just ache for the truth you never gave. If you ever loved me, say it wasn't pretend. Say I wasn't just a chapter you could close without an end. I loved you without condition. You loved me until it got hard. If you ever loved me, why does it feel like you never did at all? Maybe love is different when only one heart falls. There's a quiet in the hallway now, where your footsteps used to fall. I still turn when the door clicks twice, like you're coming home at all. Your picture's face down on the shelf, but I can't put it away. It's easier to miss you than admit you didn't stay. We didn't crash, we didn't burn, we just stopped trying to return. It's the space you left behind that keeps me up at night. Not the words we said in anger, but the ones we didn't fight. I could handle losing you if it happened thought distance meant relief. I was building us a future. You were packing up your dreams. You made leaving look like peace. I made staying look like love. It's the space you left behind that echoes through my chest. Not the nights we couldn't sleep, but the way you stopped your best. I could survive a broken heart if I knew the reason why. But you left without a warning, just a softer kind of goodbye. If I had known the last embrace was really the last time, I would have memorized your heartbeat like a sacred line. Some endings don't arrive with tears, they arrive with less and less. It's the space you left behind that hurts the most of all. Not the fall of loving you, but the silence of the fall. You found comfort in the quiet. I found truth in pain. It's the space you left behind that won't let me be the same. We didn't break loudly, we just disappeared. You held me like you always did, but something in you had already slipped. Your hands were warm, your heart was cold. I felt the ending before I was told. We talked about tomorrow night, like we still had the right to plan a world we both once knew. But I was still in love and you were through. You kissed me like a memory, like you were saying goodbye quietly. That was the last time you held me, the last time it felt almost real. I didn't know you were leaving, I just knew something changed in the way you'd feel. I stayed in the moment, you were already free. That was the last time you held me, and I didn't see. You said I love you softer than, like it was losing oxygen. I tried to breathe life back into a love that didn't want to continue. I blame myself for every crack, tried to fix what you pulled back. I thought if I just loved you more, you wouldn't walk out that door. You let me believe we were fine while you were saying goodbye in your mind. That was the last time you held me, the last time you tried, the last night I was yours. Before I became just someone from your life, I stayed in forever. You stayed for the night. That was the last time you held me, before letting go felt right. If I had known it was ending, I would have memorized your face, the way your heartbeat felt against mine, the warmth I can't replace. Some goodbyes don't happen loud, they whisper and disappear. whispered all the words I loved, but you didn't hear or care. The bed feels empty, cold and still. Your shadow haunts my mind. I held my heart too close to you, but you left it far behind. I thought forever meant your hand in mine, but forever ran out of time when you let me go. I stayed while you were free. I loved you in the silence while you turned from me. I gave you all my mornings. You left me nights to bleed. When you let me go, you took more than you could say. I memorized your laughter, every glance, every smile. I carried all your little things, but you left without a trial. You moved on quietly while I stayed in every scar. I tried to hold you closer, but you were already far. I begged for signs, you gave me none. I stayed, but your love was gone. When you let me go, I held on through the pain. I loved you through the darkness while you disappeared again. I gave you every heartbeat. You left me all alone. When you let go, the scars are all I know. We used to talk until sunrise. Now we barely say goodnight. Your hand still rests beside mine, but it doesn't hold as tight. I search your face for something that used to live in your eyes, but love doesn't always leave loud. Sometimes it just hides. You say we're fine, just tired, but tired never felt this far. Where did we go? When did we change? When did forever turn into strange? I'm still here, calling your name. Where did we go? When did love fade? You laugh at things I don't hear, like your world moved on without me. I try to fix what isn't clear, but you don't reach out to stop me. I keep lowering my voice so we don't start a fight, but silence can be louder than anything we'd ever say out loud. You're standing right beside me, but I've never felt more alone. Where did we go between then and now? How did our love get lost somehow? I'm still fighting for what we made. Where did we go? When did love fade? If I'd known the last time would feel just like the rest, I would have held you tighter against my chest. Some endings gonna arrive with tears. They settle in the space. Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we fall? Where do we fall? When did the silence say it all? I loved you fully, you slipped away. Where do we go? When did love fade? Maybe we didn't break. Maybe we just let go. You didn't slam the door, you didn't raise your voice, you just slowly stopped making me your choice. We still share the same bed, but you slept miles away. I felt you fading before you said a word that day. Love doesn't always shatter loud. Sometimes it slips through cracks, and by the time you feel it gone, there's no way to get it back. You left quietly, like a whisper in the dark. No fire, no fire. distance in your eyes. Try to fix what wasn't broken. Try to mute our goodbyes. You stopped saying forever, started saying we'll see. And every little maybe became the end of me. I would have stayed through anything if you had just said stay. You left quietly, like love was never real, like I was just a chapter you didn't need to feel. I was still fighting for what we used to be. You left quietly, but you shattered me. Now the house echoes with words we didn't say, and I replay silence every single day. If heartbreak had a sound, it would be a calm goodbye. You left quietly, no tears in your eyes, just careful explanations and beautiful lies. I gave you everything, you let it be. You left quietly, but you broke me. Some endings don't explode, they disappear. You kiss me like a habit, not like you used to do. Your hands were still around me, but they weren't holding true. We talked about forever, like it was still in reach, but every word felt borrowed, like love was out of speech. I saw it in the small things, the way you turn away, like loving me was something you were slowly unlearning each day. I felt you slipping quietly before you said a word. You were already gone while I was still believing, already moving on, while my heart was still bleeding. I stayed inside the promise you stopped trying to keep. You were already gone. I was in too deep. I kept defending silence, calling distance space, lowered all my standards just to keep my place. You stopped saying I need you, like it cost too much to say. I started loving louder, hoping you would stay. I blame myself for changes that weren't mine to own. You were halfway out the door, I was still calling it home. You let me love you fully while you were letting go. You were already gone before the goodbye came. I was fighting for us, you avoiding the blame. I held on to the future, you let it disappear. You were already gone. I just didn't wanna hear heavy, you stayed when it was light. You found peace in freedom, I found truth in pain. You were already gone, and I'll never be the same. Some goodbyes don't happen in a moment, they happen in the heart. I held on to your shadow like it was all I had. I kissed the air beside me where your hands used to grab. You smiled through the distance like I didn't exist. I try to love your silence, but it's the part I missed. I thought forever was real, but forever slipped away. You were never mine, even when I stayed. I gave you every heartbeat while you quietly strayed. I love beyond the moments you let slip through your hands. You were never mine, but I still understand. Memorize your laughter, every line and tone. I built a world for us while you were alone. You left without a warning, a whisper, not a shout. I stayed to pick the pieces while you were already out. I begged for signs you would stay, you gave me quiet instead. You were never mine, even when I tried. I loved you in the darkness while you turned and lied. I gave you all my mornings, you left me nights to grieve. You were never mine, and I'm left to believe if love was meant to linger, why did yours disappear? I carry every memory and every silent tear. I don't hate you, I just ache for a love I couldn't make. You were never mine, but I loved you all the same. I stayed when it was heavy, you left without the blame. I gave you all my pieces, you left them on the floor. You were never mine, and I'll never love you more. Some hearts leave quietly, some hearts break slow. You were never mine, but I'll never let you go. into your shadow, like it was all I had. I kissed the air beside me, where your hands used to grab. You smiled through the distance, like I didn't exist. I try to love your silence, but it's the part I miss. I thought forever was real, but forever slipped away. You were never mine, even when I stayed. I gave you every heartbeat while you quietly strayed. I love beyond the moments you let slip through your hands. You were never mine, but I still understand. I memorize your laughter, every line and tone. I built a world for us while you were alone. You left without a warning, a whisper, not a shout. I stayed to pick the pieces while you were already out. I begged for signs you'd stay. You gave me quiet instead. You were never mine, even when I tried. I loved you in the darkness while you turned in light. I gave you all my mornings, you left me nights to grieve. You were never mine, and I'm left to believe. If love was meant to linger, why did yours disappear? I carry